Have you ever heard that you shouldn't sell your house in the winter? And why is that? I've had so many people say this to me over the years. I don't want to sell my house in the winter. And I always ask, why? And normally the answer I get, there's one of two answers I get. One answer is, well, I don't want to move in the winter. Well, hello, are we an adult? Do we control the timeline? If we sell our house in January, does it mean we have to move in January? No. Could you get an offer that somebody wants to close on that house in January? Of course, sure you could. But the likelihood is if you don't want to move in January, think about this universally. You attract your tribe. If you don't want to move in January, guess what? Your buyer probably doesn't either. And so most times what we see is when you're selling your house in the winter, usually what happens is it becomes a spring move. And then usually when people buy in the spring, it's a summer move because it's before school comes in. And so people want to have their kids situated in that new area, in that new school, if that's what's going on there. But the reality, oftentimes you're going to sell but not move in that winter season. Now, the second thing I hear besides I don't want to move in the winter is I want to showcase everything. I want to showcase all my landscaping, all my hard work, all my effort. I want to showcase all that. Well, let me tell you, from a sales standpoint, here's what we know. When we get into the winter season, there's less active buyers. Why? Because people naturally want to hibernate in the wintertime. They want to maybe spend more time with family. We got Christmas we're going through. We got Thanksgiving, which is the early part of getting into the cold weather. And then on the other side of it, we kind of have Easter that sort of sets us free of the winter, if you will. And so at the end of the day, most people I find take a bit of a hiatus there through that really cold season, unless they have a specific reason to buy, like a job opportunity or they're moving out of the country. But one thing I can tell you is this. Here's what we know from surveys conducted by the National Association of Realtors, that per person that views a home, so per showing, we see more offers per showing through the winter months than we do in the summer months. And does that say that there's a lot more tire kickers in the summer? Not necessarily. There's a lot more inventory on the market and there's a lot more for people to look at. And so obviously the cream always floats to the top and people always pick the nicest houses first. That's just the reality. So selling in the winter doesn't necessarily mean you have to move in the winter, and you don't always have to showcase your stuff. I say this to clients all the time. You can't get the process started too early. So if you think you might be selling in the winter, well, then we back the process up and we do your pictures in the fall, your outside pictures at least. So that way we can showcase your home in its highest light possible. There are only solutions, people. There are only solutions to these problems that we come up with. And I'm not saying that I'm here to silver tongue anybody to death and make them do, whatever it is my will. I just have a lot of experience in the market. And as I move forward with clients, I only have solutions for whatever problems you can come up with. And that is the value of a good agent. So tell me below, would you sell in the winter? And if not, tell me why.